So I got this key for BMW, and you can just have it cut at Ace Hardware. Yeah, everything on this car works. Here's the speakers I put in. The stereo, of course, was installed professionally. The thing about the stereo is it's got this little fader, and that kind of complicates things. So when I first got it, the hood wouldn't come up or stay up on its own. So I put this little bar here, which was like $10. I did have to drill it out to make it fit. Hey, it works now. Can't really find a good cap that'll stay on here. The one I have just fell off somewhere. But I did replace this. I had to go to the BMW shop to get this plug fixed because it was off. Disconnected. All the electronics on this car was disconnected for some reason. Did get this strut bar, and this engine was a little dirty, and it took a lot of scrubbing, but I did clean it. Replaced the spark plugs. Replaced the wires. I kept this casing though. I just fit the wires in here. The thing about these wires is there was a diagnostic wire connected to it, and I was gonna try to replace it, but when I followed it down, it would have broke some retainer down there, so I decided to cut it off, and it didn't affect the engine at all. I replaced this ignition coil with the refurbished one. Maybe I should have got a new one, but I got new plugs, a new distributor, new rotor for the ignition system. For the fuel system, I replaced this line here, which they had a cheap little junky line on here that I don't even know what it was. The fuel regulators replaced. Cleaned this up a little bit. Took off the throttle body and cleaned that out. Cleaned everything I could over here. Replaced the the air filter. Also replaced the fuel filter, fuel pump. Now there's a few weird little things like these little retainers that I had to find to replace, and under here there's a rubber retainer I had to find to replace. Cleaned this up, and it said my belt was really old here, but when I took it to the shop they said there's no way it's that old. So my timing belt's good. I don't have any worries on that. Cleaned up this engine as much as I could, everywhere I could reach. Replaced this top, and of course it broke off again, but there is a little screw you can put here. It looks nice to be new. Well, everything in here is clean. Turn it on one more time. Now the little clicks, it's supposed to sound like that. I did replace the fuel injectors with these high ohm Bosch style fuel injectors. I don't know if you could see it, but man, that was tough to get in here and replace. I was told that you should use the low ohm ones that it came with, but these new ones have a different kind of spray system that's supposed to be a lot better, and I think it'll work with the ECU. I also replaced the chip. That seemed to help out a bit. I cleaned out the valves in there. I actually put some cleaner in the engine, gas, and that worked a little bit, but I also took it off and scrubbed it with the toothbrush, and did a valve adjustment while I was at it. I think that's about everything. It wasn't much that, I did all the work myself with the engine and fuel system, and then also the down here is the engine mounts, which I had to replace. They were broken, and the transmission mounts also, they were broken. That was kind of tough for me to do myself. This car hasn't been very difficult to work on though, and it runs so good. Now I'm working on the slotted brakes. They're just some regular old brakes to improve the brake system. I have the rear ones, but I haven't put them on yet. The only problem with this car is it has an ABS light on, which the part is available, but it's going to cost $3,000, and I'm not going to do it unless I need it, unless I really need it. But so far this car has been really impressive in the shape that it came in, and the minimal amount of work I had to do, and I just tuned it up, and it runs so fun to drive, so fun to drive. Yeah, that's about it.